Two open weekends in the last 3 weeks, which sandwiched the Florida State game, have undoubtedly given the Miami Hurricanes a lot of extra practice time to sharpen their game going into the 7-game stretch coming up that will determine their postseason fate. Miami's in the driver's seat for a top 2 seed in the college football playoff now, and that comes with a first-round bye that would be a very valuable commodity. But Mario Cristobal has wasted no effort here in making sure that his team understands that a single slip-up along the way could change absolutely everything. So tonight, as we embark on a new edition of CaneSport Live, let's talk a little bit about how the Canes can show up better beginning Friday night at 7 o'clock when the Louisville Cardinals come to Hard Rock Stadium. The offense can certainly become more consistent and explosive. And a big part of that would certainly be integrating running back Jordan Lyle and wide receiver JoJo Trader, two guys who before the season you might have said would be the most explosive members of that Miami offense. The defense can certainly get more comfortable with its depth, I think, so that it doesn't get caught fatigued late in the game like it did up at Florida State. Of course, there also are many other individual players who could show development and improvement along the way toward that cause of making defensive coordinator Corey Heatherman comfortable with the depth that he has on his side of the ball. But here's something to consider. ESPN draft analyst Mel Kiper put out his first draft forecast this week, and he basically covered the first 4 rounds of the draft and said that only 4 Hurricanes are on track to be drafted in those first 4 rounds. Quarterback Carson Beck, offensive lineman Francis Mainoa, and defensive ends Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor. So you got a whole lot of other players on the team that aren't being mentioned, and this is a little bit of a message to them that there still is a lot that they need to accomplish as this season goes forward if they want to keep an eye on their goals of playing in the National Football League. So rat poison, beware. There remains plenty of motivation on the table to keep Miami from becoming a complacent football team here as they enter the home stretch of the season on Friday night. Hello again, everybody. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com. We welcome you once again to the People's Show, CaneSport Live. As usual, it's your show. It's going to be driven by your participation. Many of our guests tonight have pre-registered with us to be on the show. If you have not, you see the email address scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You send us an email. We will send you the link to the studio, and you can come be a part of the show. As always, our managing editor, Matt Shodell, is going to be joining me for the first hour of the show, and then I'll be joined by the voice of the fan, Bruce Warner, in hour number 2. So without further ado, here's the man himself, Mr. Matt Shodell. And Matt, welcome back to CaneSport Live. Sorry that we're keeping you up late this evening, but we know how important your presence is to all of us here, just not myself as your co-host, but all of the viewers and listeners of CaneSport Live. And so thank you so much for once again being on the show. And open week number 2 here, 2 of them in a span of 3 weeks, Matt. And it's kind of unprecedented. I don't remember seeing 2 open weeks so close together. What do you think, based on what you've seen and heard here over these last days? Is it a good thing, a bad thing? Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I have a bone to pick with Greg. Greg, I'm coming for you, bro, because you told me that Miami has 20 NFL prospects, and I guess you know more than Mel Kiper. Also, shout out to my main man, Hurricane Joe. Oh, no Shodell. I guess Matt Shodell to Hurricane Joe. And G-Nice. G-Nice's long-lost cousin. We want Matt. I don't know what that means. They want Matt to be thrown into a burning pit of fire. I don't know. But, you got to finish the thought. It's unclear. But in terms of this week's game, I said on Good Morning CaneSport, for those of you that suffer through that monstrosity in the mornings, I do think Miami wins pretty easily, and you guys know me. I'm like Mr. Negative. Everything's going to be terrible. Even when I talked to one of my booster friends the other day, he was like, you have to be so happy, right? I mean, they're undefeated. It's so much more fun covering an undefeated team. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is terrible, because all that can happen now is we go downhill. Like, go down, not downhill. Is downhill good? I never know if downhill is a good thing or a bad thing. If you go downhill, is that good?
Going downhill, all the same.
Going down is bad, but going downhill is good. It's very confusing. Anyway, I'm like, no, because all we can do is go down from here. It's terrible. I just want to be pleasantly surprised, not negatively unsurprised. But yeah, Louisville does not match up well with Miami. Louisville has given up 61 points. The only two teams it's played that are somewhat real. Like, for those people who are like, oh, their defense is top 3 in every category. Yeah, it's because they played nobody, no name, and nothing. USA, college, blah, blah, blah. Like, they played 3 no names and 2 decent teams. So I don't think Louisville's as good as people think. On top of that, whenever their quarterback gets pressured, he throws the ball to the other team for a pick 6. And even their fans don't like their quarterback. So, they're saying Miller Moss stares down receivers and overthrows routes over the middle and underthrows out routes. And that, like I said on the show, he's a rich man's Tyler Van Dyke. And somebody pointed out on the YouTube channel that they thought I called him a rich man's Tyler Van Dyke because his parents are architects, which I don't even know. I don't know if that's true or not. Do architects make that much money? I guess if they're good. If they're bad, they probably don't. But that's not why I called him a rich man Tyler Van Dyke. It just felt like calling him a poor man's Tyler Van Dyke. Like, for Miami fans, there is no such thing as a poor man's Tyler Van Dyke. Like, if Gary was playing quarterback, he would be a poor man's Tyler Van Dyke. But, like, for a Miami fan, that's like the worst thing you can call a quarterback is Tyler Van Dyke. And Miller Moss is not as bad as people might associate with Tyler. And Tyler, by the way, wasn't that awful. He would just do what Miller Moss does. He would have 4 or 5 great passes, a couple of great series, and then just total meltdown, brain freeze, and throw the ball up for grabs or make a dumb pass in crunch time. And that's what Miller Moss has been doing and did last year, quite honestly, at USC. So when he's under pressure, he has one of the worst grades I've ever seen, in the 30s for Pro Football Focus. And how is he not going to be under pressure? He's been under pressure every third snap, every third drop back. He's been under pressure. And that's not facing Miami, who apparently the Florida coaches under the table told the Louisville coaches, Jeff Brom, that this is the best defensive line they've seen in years in the SEC. Now why ACC teams should be allowed to reach out to SEC teams for advice on how to beat fellow ACC teams, like, that should be outlawed. That's to me, that's like stealing signals in the NFL when you're not allowed to. Not during the game, but like having a camera in practice. Like, if you're an ACC team and you're going to SEC teams to scout your ACC opponent, I mean, if that doesn't boil your blood, if Mario's not using that to tell his players, like, F these guys, man, like, that's just, I don't like that. That's not sportsmanship. To me, that's borderline cheating, and it's borderline insensitivity to the ACC. If I'm the ACC, I announce a fine of Louisville for talking to SEC teams about ACC opponents. I'm not even kidding. Like, I would fine them. I would fine them $1 million.
All right, so I mentioned that Mel Kiper put out his NFL draft forecast, and only those 4 Canes I mentioned are projected in the top 4 rounds. And Ghostface CD Wright, he very astute. I love that picture. It's kind of like a Ghostface picture, huh, Matt? Wouldn't you say? Ghostface CD Wright 40. I mean, like, that's kind of like a Ghostface, right? Don't you think?
I'm not getting involved with this conversation. Move along, please.
Anyway, so he points out no Mark Fletcher mentioned on that list, and I was kind of surprised by that also. I thought Mark Fletcher's been playing at a top 4 round kind of pace here so far this season. Well, what do you think's holding him back right now, Matt?
NFL wise?
Yeah.
It's his speed. The NFL, they want everything in the NFL. Running backs in the NFL, for whatever reason, running backs are severely undervalued, because I think NFL teams have realized you can grab free agents. You can get guys in the last round. As a matter of fact, there was a last round guy. I think he's starting for the Commanders and playing really well. Like, you don't, look, if it's Notre Dame's running back, yeah, you need Jeremiah Love. Like, that guy is a combination of Marshall Faulk and a bunch of other guys, just you name stars that can catch, run with power, run with speed. Like, that's him. So he's special. But aside from those special guys, and I'm not saying Mark Fletcher's not special in his own way, but when I say special, Mark Fletcher's not Jeremiah Love special. Sorry, Miami fans. Like, he's just not. And unless you're running a 4-4 or in the 4-3s with his kind of power, like you're not going to be drafted very high. And will he be drafted? Of course he's going to be drafted. But in the top 4 rounds, which is what Kuiper did, you know, I think he'll be drafted in the latter part of the draft if he even leaves early. You know, he might be better off, you know, coming back or figuring something else out. I mean, the problem for him is, you know, if he does come back, I mean, Jordan Lyle's clearly going to be a superstar, to me at least. So do you want to come back and be the second fiddle? You know, I don't think he'd ever want to transfer. So just being a Miami guy. So, you know, it's going to be a tough decision for Mark. It really is. My guess is he does go pro after this year, but I don't think he'll be a high draft pick. Like that's
I could see Miami offering him $1 million to come back. It wouldn't shock me for Miami to do that and $1 million NIL contract.
The thing is, what you're not understanding is Mario Cristobal is not out to just waste money, and I'm not sure other schools around the nation are offering $1 million to transfer. I'm just not sure they are. So whatever the market is for Mark is what Mario will offer him.
Yeah, you know, but I'm throwing out that number arbitrarily. I mean, I don't know what the exact number is. I'm just saying I could see them making him a sizable NIL deal.
Yeah, I think they would match. I think
in that ballpark. I think he's got that kind of value to the program, not just as a player, but for character purposes too. And Mark Fletcher is very valuable to the Miami Hurricanes. If he's going to be a late round draft pick, 6th, 7th round, and you know, but you take a look. Let's take a look just at the Dolphins, and you know, Devon Achane, you know, for example, runs I think like 4.3, and you see how good he is at the NFL level. I mean, he is unquestionably a very high level NFL back. They got their backup is Ollie Gordon, a rookie that they drafted in the 6th round, who to me has a very similar playing style to Mark Fletcher. So you're kind of seeing there, Ollie Gordon 6th round, Mark Fletcher probably 5th, 6th, 7th round. Matt's exactly right. Like those kind of players are. He's a
1980. He's a 1980s NFL running back. Like in the 1980s, Mark Fletcher's a top 3 rounder, you know, but the NFL now values speed at running back and not as much as what Mark has, unfortunately, for Mark.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. If he's going to be drafted in the 6th or 7th round, I'd rather see Mark Fletcher come back and make a nice NIL check.
But remember, he is what he is. Like he's not going to be anything different next year than what he is this year, I don't think, unless he loses an absurd amount of weight to make himself faster, which won't make any sense because then he loses his power. So, you know, to me, Mark's best personal avenue, unless Miami throws a ton of money at him, again, with the NFL, this is how the NFL gets you, right? You start your ticking clock on the 3-year window to get your massive deal the minute you go into the draft and get drafted or sign with a team. And you want that first contract to start as early as possible, especially for a running back. Because remember, running backs, NFL teams look at running backs like they have a limited amount of lifetime reps because that's what the statistics tell you, right? Running backs last maybe 5 to 7 years if they're starting running backs. Like after that, you get hurt. You're just playing not quite the same as you were unless your name's Frank Gore or some other special guys. And with Mark's punishing running style, you know, I honestly think it's probably going to be better for him to go pro and start that ticking clock on a 3-year contract without putting another 200 carries under his belt.
But that 3-year window only applies if you make it.
Correct. But if he's not going to make it anyway, what's the difference?
There's a big difference. What if he can come back to Miami and make $1 million next year? And again, I'm throwing
$1 million is the number. That's different.
I'm pretty sure it would be somewhere in the $7 to $1 million range. Okay, that's what the market is for a starting level running back. And if he could do that and guarantee himself that, it might be better.
It's going to be a tough decision. You're not wrong.
Well, if you let me finish, I'll tell you why it's not a tough decision. Because take Damian Martinez, who probably could have come back.
Right.
If Damian Martinez comes back, they don't go, and get Marty Brown. Okay, Marty Brown, Damian Martinez, probably about the same level player, relatively speaking. Damian Martinez is on the practice squad, I'm pretty sure. Those guys make $200,000 a year. So if you're going to be on a practice squad at the NFL level, and that's what you're going to be, you're better off taking that extra year of college and capitalizing on NIL in today's world.
Isn't that interesting that it's better for average players to stay in college, but at the same time, the colleges want average players. I'm not talking about Mark now. I'm talking about in general.
No, but I think you could be you've mentioned this many times. You could be a really good college player and just not fit into the NFL mold.
Yeah.
So the Mark Fletcher situation, it was a very good question.
Yeah, I mean, look, if Mark's not going to make it past 3 years in the NFL, you're 100% right. But that's the math he has to figure out. That's why it's a tough decision. If he thinks he's going to make it in the NFL to year 4 in a second contract, he wants to start that clock. If he says, "Oh, I'm the next Damian Martinez," then of course you stay in college as long as possible. Become the next Cam McCormick if you can. You make a fortune that way.
Yeah, well, the good thing for Miami players is they have a hotline to Alonzo Highsmith, and they have a hotline to Dan Morgan, two very high-level personnel guys that will give them the real deal. And there's no excuse to make a bad decision if you're coming out of Miami. With all the respects to the agents who will be saying, "Oh, you got to go pro, you got to get to that second contract." Well, if you're not going to be an active player in the National Football League, the second contract is kind of irrelevant. Yeah, all right, let's go out to you guys now. Again, if you want to come on the show and you're not pre-registered with us, it's CaneSport at yahoo.com. Let's see. I know where I'm starting tonight. Okay, so this afternoon we have like a messaging system on our website, and a message comes through from T-Dog, okay? And he says, "Matt, you owe me a shot tonight." Thank God he didn't say, "Gary, you owe me a shot," because I'm really not into drinking shots here on Tuesday night. I did it on the first night of the show for T-Dog, but I'm really not into Tuesday night alcohol, okay? I'm going to be honest. I'm not a degenerate to that level, like clearly T-Dog is. But, he says, "Hey, Matt, you owe me a shot," okay? And then he tries to take credit for predicting the score exactly correct of the FSU game. And then Matt tries to take credit for also correctly predicting the score of the FSU game. And I can't remember what exact score I said, but I know in terms of margin of victory, if I wasn't right there, I was a point or so off.
No, just to be clear, I did not predict the score correctly. What I predicted correctly was the score if both teams played their best game and FSU didn't turn it over multiple times. Then my score would have been correct, which was Miami winning whatever it was by 5 points, 6 points, and they won by 2 touchdowns or whatever. So yeah, so I take credit for getting it right because it's not my fault that both teams didn't play their best games. When you make a score prediction, it should be based on the best possible game for both teams. Otherwise, what's the point? You're going to guess that they had turnovers. So I think he owes me a shot. You owe me a shot. Everyone owes me a shot.
I think I exactly right. All shots because I'm not doing. Like I said, I don't do shots on Tuesday night. But T-Dog, welcome back to CaneSport Live. Did you get a haircut this week?
Man, my hair always looks like this. What are you talking about?
Okay. I thought it looked pretty fresh. I was thinking
it's always fresh, homie. That's how we do.
All right. So what say you, man? I don't even remember what you predicted. In all honesty,
so I said that Miami was a double-digit favorite. They're at least double-digit better than Florida State. And I kept hearing about it's a rival game and it's the state of Florida and and I was like, no, we're at least 10 to 14 points better, and we were. Now, unfortunately, that's not what the final score was. So, Matt, you do owe me a shot.
Did you not understand?
No. I told you? I don't want to hear the excuses, bro.
Here's my shot of water for you.
First of all, what are you looking
Cheers.
at? You're looking up at your ceiling. What do you have, a monitor?
So I have multiple monitors in there.
Oh, okay.
Like a bat cave. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. And so my camera is here, but like my monitor's over here. But anyway, so no, you owe me a shot, Matt. You owe me a shot, but it's all good. I see you're not a man of your word. It's all good. That's one. 2, Gary, I'm not a degenerate just because I'm taking a shot. Okay, it's random.
Taking a shot of my Zephyr Hills.
It was a random bet. Okay, it was a random bet. I don't do this on a regular. That's one. I'm not Jake from State Farm.
Wow.
I'm not. I say it from State Farm.
You better put Jake on right now, Gary.
I say it from State Farm. I cleaned it up. And then 2, so about a month or so ago, I made a post saying Mark Fletcher's going to get drafted maybe 7th round, and everybody came for my neck. Everybody came for me. What did Mel Kiper just produce? What did he just produce?
You're barking up the wrong tree because people do not think Mel Kiper is right about anything after the Shodell Sanders. So I understand what you're saying. You might be right, and I agree. He's probably going to be a late round draft pick.
You want a double shot? You want a double shot?
Just don't take victory laps on Mel Kiper's prediction. I don't recommend that. That's all.
I'm telling you. So I said the same thing about Martinez. Like you can tell by the look of a running back what the NFL is looking for. You guys both mentioned, this isn't the run Dane and Jerome Bettis' days of running backs. If anything, the smaller backs are the ones that are making the impact. In
the Miami running backs that Mario Cristobal wants to have in his program are not the kind that NFL teams want anymore, which is actually good for Miami because they'll stay here, hopefully, or like Gary said, they can perhaps make more money at Miami than they can being a free agent, hypothetically, if they don't make the roster on an NFL team.
Every now and again, you'll get a unicorn where you'll get a Derrick Henry that's big and fast. Yeah. But that's very, very rare, bro. Very rare. And I think a lot of people painted Fletcher to be that type of running back, and he's just not that guy. He runs very upright, kind of like how Martinez does. Doesn't get behind his pass necessarily, and then his acceleration and his speed just isn't there. And there's a reason why as soon as we saw Chris hit the field, we were like, oh, that's a running back. Like it just popped off the screen immediately. He looked like a throwback of Gore and Portis and those boys. And again, I'm not slighting the kid because I love what he's doing for the program. I love his attitude. I love his work ethic. I love what he's done to that running back room. He's the ultimate teammate. But I'm just saying, let's just call a spade a spade. Let's not let our love taint like our, you know what I mean? Like our evaluation of these players, our love for our team.
Well, more importantly, our love can't taint their evaluations of themselves because that leads to bad decisions. And based on what we're seeing here, I think if I were advising Mark Fletcher, I would say, man, like I know that lure of the NFL is there, but you're worth a lot of money on this NIL market going into next season for Miami. I think you might get a better deal staying with the Hurricanes.
And I don't know about $1 million, Gary. I mean, but like kind of what Matt said, that's a lot of money.
Well, let me tell you why it's not. Okay, there's a recruit, Derek Cooper from Hollywood Chaminade. Okay, he's good, good high school running back. Okay, Texas
overpaid.
Walked in. I no argument for me, but they've dropped over $1 million NIL offer on that kid's lap, and that has polluted his recruitment with Miami. Miami's not doing that with high school kids. They'll give you a representative NIL deal, and the more elite you are, the more marketability you have. But they're not getting into bidding wars with Texas for a high school running back for very much the same reasons of what we're talking about here. Like, look at Marty Brown. Like we went in the portal and got Marty Brown from North Dakota State. I mean, look what a high level he's playing at here this year. You got Jordan Lyle, who's going to be back for at least 1 or 2 more years. And obviously there'll be more guys. Fletcher could come back another year, and then there's some other pretty good. Javian Mallory looks very, very good, and so like you're not getting into bidding wars for high school players, but Mark Fletcher's value to the Miami Hurricanes, for all of the reasons, is pretty high. I mean,
so how much you paying Lyle, Gary? If Fletcher's $1 million, how much is Lyle?
Right.
Lyle hasn't done anything yet.
Lyle gets less than Fletcher to you next year.
No, they'll be comparable. They'll be comparable. I mean, Miami has a lot of respect for Lyle. They're not gonna, because he got hurt, he's not gonna get shortchanged. I don't believe from the collective and the school, but. They're both very high value players to this program. And I think those two have extremely high NIL marketability going into next season.
Fair. Oh, go ahead,
Matt.
Matt.
Dog, what else you got? Anything?
Well, no, I was going to say my upset pick for this season, Duke is going to beat Georgia Tech. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Duke is going to beat Georgia Tech. And think about what that's going to do to the landscape of the ACC.
Yeah, that'll make it very interesting.
You heard it here first. And Matt, you owe me 2 shots, bro.
All right,
weak, bro, weak.
Good luck collecting on that one.
And after that flaming article you wrote on me, when I see you, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Oh, by the way, you know what I did get? Speaking of flaming, I got a gift from my wife for no apparent reason, which is usually a bad sign, I would think. But. It's a flamethrower for my old fashions, so that I can, and it's like a little cup with the wood chip, so I can make smoky old fashions.
Oh, how about that?
Cool. That's
gonna be great. I'll do that on the air if you want. How about that, T-Dog?
I thought you got you a prescription of a Blue Chew or something, but that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I just got the butane canister and from Amazon yesterday. It doesn't come with the whole kit. But yeah, hopefully I won't burn anything down. I'm gonna try
So
that.
you're an old-fashioned guy, huh? That's
Yeah,
that's
I
your
went. It's pathetic. I went from apple martinis and Cosmos before I knew any better to Moscow Mules, and now for the last couple of years, it's just old fashions. I'm very particular and strange with my drinks.
Moscow Mule. What's that? Vodka and ginger beer?
It can be, yeah. Or you could do a dark and stormy type of deal, but yeah, it's vodka, ginger beer, lime. Yeah, Moscow, there's nothing wrong with Moscow Mule,
No, I have one every now and again. Hey, you're gonna have to you have to show us that on air once, maybe for the ACC championship game. You have to bring that one out.
There you go. I'll do that.
Okay, bet.
I'll do a whole. It could be a whole demonstration, like one of those cooking with Martha Stewart sessions. But it'll be
get me and Jake on the screen together so we can critique your.
I'm keeping my eye on Jake. He's pre-gaming over there. Don't worry about it.
What's up, Jake? What's up, Jake?
See, Jake, he's getting ready. He's pre-gaming. All right, T-Dog.
All right, fellas.
We'll see you next week, man. Yep.
See you later.
Yep. All right. So it's an open week, so we'll pop this up on the screen here. Matt, why haven't we heard any restaurant recommendations?
Oh,
where you been going, man? What's good in town? We got Joe's opening.
How about this? You went there too. What about Sonny's? Didn't you go to Sonny's a little while ago?
Sonny's is big time.
That's the place. If you have enough money saved up or can rob somebody who has money, go to Sonny's.
Honestly,
that's actually the motto of their restaurant.
Yeah.
If you have enough money or can rob somebody, come to Sonny's. That's their whole.
But let me give you guys a tip. Sonny's is lit, man. It's a very cool restaurant. First of all, it's like in the middle of a neighborhood. It's like I don't even know how to
sit under the banyan tree if you go. That's the place to sit right there. Outside, they have an outside area. It's super cool, and the food.
Yeah, but how would you describe the area? It's like bizarre.
My son had the tomahawk there. He said it's the best thing he's ever had in his life, which shows you how little we actually feed him normally. But that was that was a really good meal.
Matt's son operates on a very high budget if he's ordering the tomahawk. But listen, it doesn't need to be prohibitively expensive. Okay, yes, no, it's not a cheap place, but they have options on the menu that
you get a burger.
Well, no, they have a hanger steak, which is really good. Okay, I'm not going to tell you it's a tomahawk. It's not, but the tomahawk will cost you probably $150, and the hanger steak will cost you $35. And then they got like pasta dishes and stuff. They have this agnolotti with crab, and that's like really, really good. And the Caesar salad is really, really good. And
if you want to go to, and people don't care about this, but if you want to go to the best place, honestly, in Miami, it's called Boyer Day. That's the other one. But we don't talk about this. I cut you off because let's just move on.
What the hell's that? How do you spell that?
BOIA. It is the best restaurant in town. I mean, they only have like 8 tables. BOIA space DE, and you have to literally book a table. They book a month in advance. You have to book it literally exactly like if you wake up at 6 a.m. and try to book table, it's probably too late. Or actually, I'm sorry, they open it at noon. They do it at noon a month in advance. That's what it is. So at 12:01 p.m. they're sold out for the
Northeast Second Avenue it's downtown Miami.
It's in the middle of a strip mall. It's next to a laundromat. It's like looks like a nothing. They don't even have their name on the shingle. It's just like it's literally you have to know it's there. But really, I mean, it's like the Michelin star level place. Oh, and this is crazy, but if you do go, and I'm not even kidding, get the Shirley Temple. Okay, like it sounds. I swear to God, it's crazy, but it's like their specialty, and they make their own. What's the name of that? What's this? The grenadine. They make their own homemade grenadine there, and when I tell you, like, it's actually the best children's drink I've ever had as an adult. I'm not even lying. And the food there's nothing
That's
bad.
a long way from your Moscow Mules and your Woodford Reserve, man.
Yeah,
your old fashions.
Yeah.
Hey, and Joe's opens up this week, so that's always a good thing. So, Joker, I hope we helped you out there. If not, we can try to help you out more next week or whatever. But hope that gives you some places to go. All right, Greg, I see you in the studio, but I don't see you. Okay, I see a picture. There we go. Greg figured out how to work.
Oh my God. He grew a mustache. That's why he wasn't on the camera for the last 6 months.
Okay.
Hello, Greg. How are you, Greg?
Okay, Matt,
What's up,
first
Greg?
of all, relax, Matt. Okay, let's start with this. You said I said Miami had 20 NFL players. When did I say that, Matt?
Last show you said how they
No,
have
you
tons of
didn't.
NFL talent.
No, I didn't.
No, was
And
that somebody else?
you said Miami would be a 6.5-point favorite. They're 13.5-point favorite. Stick to your cooking and your bougie restaurants. You don't know shit about gambling. Okay, next. Mel Kiper. You're telling me Markel Bell won't be a top 4-round pick?
That's right,
Are
Greg.
you kidding me?
Why is your face getting redder and redder? Hold on. Get his address and get the paramedics out there, Gary.
Okay, let me ask Gary. Let me ask you something.
That's a good question. Like that's a good question you're asking, Greg, on Markel Bell. I mean, we don't know obviously where the NFL projects them.
What
but
about Ernest Cooper?
Neither Cooper or Bell made the Kuiper list. You know, he's weighing them against every lineman in the country. I mean, you know, we're homers here.
Mel Kiper is so old. He's done. Okay, Gary, let me ask you this.
I'm not escaping that.
Let me ask you this, Gary. Would a team that's 57th in scoring offense, 51st in total offense, 86th in scoring defense, and 97th in total defense be a risk to beat Miami? Because Matt said NC State was going to beat Miami. Give him a tough game.
Let me tell you,
give me a break.
All right. But listen, I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, this is the scary thing about it. We could do exactly what you just did for every game left on the schedule, and Miami wins by a blowout all 7 weeks. I mean, is that reality? I mean, we've never seen that before. Like the best teams in college football couldn't do that, Greg. So, like, hey, we'll all take it. No argument at all. But I mean, I don't know if winning 7 straight games here to end the season, all in a blowout, is going to be reality.
Well, I didn't say they were going to blow out every team.
But we could play that same numbers game with just about everybody. There's nobody that matches up. If you look at those kind of numbers.
Okay. By the way, NC State, they beat. Oh no, that's Louisville. Louisville beat Eastern Kentucky, Bowling Green, and James Madison. What a devastating out-of-conference schedule.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I think you were confusing Louisville with NC State. I didn't say NC State's going to beat Miami. I never.
Yes, you said they were going to be the surprise team to beat Miami last week. Go back and look at it.
Yeah, no, they could be a surprise team that beats them, but that's the whole point.
They could. Anybody? Come on.
Correct. They could be a surprise team. The whole word surprise, Greg, means nobody sees it coming. That's the definition of surprise. I got a bone to pick with you, Gregory Haralam. Okay? I said the word surprise, which means I know they suck. And it would be a surprise for them to beat Miami because they suck. That's the definition.
Okay. One last thing. By the way, last week you were trying to infer I went to Miami-Dade Junior College.
No. That was
I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University. I did not get my degree, and I retired at age 52. So college sucks, okay? I don't give a shit that you went to Tufts because you're a real bougie, smart guy, okay?
That's true. And by the way, if you watch the whole clip, I said Miami-Dade Community College is an excellent college. Lots of people go there and do really well. It just seems like you're more the 2-year kind of guy than the 4-year kind of guy. And it turns out I was right, Greg. I was right. You went there in Fairleigh Dickinson for 2 years, bro.
No, 3 years, bro. Right. You're wrong again. Anyway, by the way, Gary, you told me you're going to let me get on with everything this week. What happened?
He's not around. I don't know where the hell he is. He's not here, or I would let you have that pleasure. But no, he's not.
45-17.
All right.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that. I could see that.
Have a wonderful week, and make up some more stories next week, Matt.
Oh, I will. That's all I do, Gregory. You know that. I only
No,
make stuff
you're
up.
really good at writing stories. I'll tell you that
Listen,
much.
you
You're really
retired.
good.
You retired at age 52 in 1970. I'm very jealous.
No, that
Congratulations.
was 18 years ago, my friend.
Ah, okay.
2007.
My math's not so good.
Okay, whatever.
All right.
Keep the good
Always a-
work up.
Always a
All right,
pleasure.
Greg. We'll see you next week, man. Yeah. Have a good one. Hey, I got to boot you from the studio though because we need the spot. But you can pick up the show on the front side on CaneSport.
I got you, Brian.
All right, Greg. Thank you. Wow, that was fun.
I like that he figured out how to get his camera working. That was good. It's nice to see
Yeah,
him. He's doing well. He looks healthy, happy.
He looks good. He's got the mustache working.
He's got the whole Halloween mustache going on. Yeah, looking great.
All right, let's go to Cane's. Wait, I better go wide shot because he's back and forth.
I'm back at the JOB, going back and forth. But look, it ain't a whole lot to talk about. All right, first of all, Mel Kiper, the dumbest mom. Mel Kiper don't know nothing. I've been listening to Joker. He's the hype man. Everybody got a hype man. That's all he do. He tell you this, he tell you that. When the first round comes, damn, I thought he would go. Then he'll come back. Well, Mel Kiper full of trash. That's his job. Make money. Okay. With the Canes, just win. It doesn't matter. Every game's a trap game. The hell with it. We can't do nothing about it. All of them a trap game, man. Yeah, all of them. The rest of them. Like I said last week, we got to worry about this. We got to worry about that. Just the only team that can beat Miami is Miami. And I know y'all agree. Y'all been saying this last year, the year before, but this year it's different. I looked at Ruben Bain and them talk. Man, I'd be scared as hell to be on that side. They are mean. These dudes, they barely smiling. They about business. They straight about business. So the only team that can beat them is them. That's it. Nobody else. I don't got a lot more to say.
But let me ask you a question in all seriousness. Like I was just telling Greg, like we could just predict that we're going to blow every team out for the rest of the year.
No. Go ahead. You're right, but remember,
is that reality, Kane? I mean, maybe it'll happen, but is that reality?
No, it ain't reality because, like you said, the year that we were good when Ed Reed, what was Boston College record? I can't remember, but it was a scare. They were terrible. See, anything can happen.
I think they were like an average team. Yeah,
average team. As Matt said, it's hard to keep a team.
They were better.
We can go in here and do this, and we can go ahead and do that. Mentally, that stuff is hard. You just got to go out there and play your best. There's gonna be some breakdown, and soon as something go left, fans gonna go crazy. Should we run the table? Yeah, I seen FMU. Nothing special. I watched Louisville play James Madison in the first game. Nothing special. Duke, nothing special. Nobody special. Even Georgia Tech. Miami is special. So it's up to them to try to maintain, stay level, and do what they do. So I ain't got no more to say. I'll be there Friday. I'm not missing Cane Walk. It ain't gonna rain. I'm leaving my man house and walk across there. I ain't gonna have his hat. Just look for a crazy guy. You'll find me. So, hey, matter of fact, what color are they wearing? Do y'all know shirt, green, orange, white, black?
I haven't seen.
I don't know.
Oh, hell, I'll wear what I want to wear. It don't make no damn difference. Y'all saw that thing I wrote about people talking long. I ain't trying to make nobody mad at me, man. I just doing. Yes, last week I could do that. There's some talking people up here, but everybody want to talk. But I ain't going to talk long. I'm getting ready to get off. Oh, restaurants. I've been to Miami a lot of times. I ain't going to lie. Ain't too many restaurants there good, but if you want some good wings, go to Tootsie's. Forget the women there. Just go in the back, get your food. They got the best damn wings out there. Yes, yeah, I don't know if y'all can go to Tootsie's. I don't want to get y'all in trouble with your wives if you're married. Anybody?
Hey, honey,
I got to
Tootsie's and get some wings. Don't worry, I won't look at it. I won't look at any of the girls.
Oh, you gonna look? You can look.
Tell me I got to go eat the wings at Tootsie's.
Go eat the wings at Tootsie's. You ain't got to touch, cause man, that stuff I'm over that. They pretty women. I go in the back. But hey, give a shout out to Meister King, everybody. Ookie Dookie, Cocky Baki. See y'all on Friday night, 7:30. It's for you. My man said I'm Michael Irvin Jr. I don't believe that shit. I'm out. Got to go help some customers. Peace.
All right, Kane.
Hopefully he's still listening, because if he shows up at 7:30, he's going to miss the first 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, hey, Kane, the game's at 7, man.
I know that, but I'm going to be there at 4:30 to get the Cane Walk. I ain't missing shit. Got it.
All right. Well, maybe we'll see you at Cane Walk.
You will.
Peace.
All right.
Oh my God, man! This is an epic night so far. Yeah. So Matt, so tell tell your wife, hey, I'm going to go to the back room at Tootsie's and eat some chicken wings because Kane told me they're the best chicken wings in town. Don't worry, I'm not looking at anything else around the room. No way.
I mean, I still, it's like dealing with Greg. I know how the Miami Hurricanes feel. Every single week, you have to prepare every day for that, right? Miami prepares for its opponent. I prepare for Greg, and it's a chore. Every week, I can't win the battles. I think I lost this week. I'm 5-1. I finally lost to Greg. He got the better of me today. Got to prepare harder next week.
All right, let's go to BK Hurricane, man. How you doing this week, BK?
I don't know. How do I sound this week?
You sound good.
Okay. Last 2 weeks. Oh man, my audio was horrible.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Bruce kept bringing it up. So listen, let me ask you a question real quick. Every day I watch these. They have these playoff projections. And like Miami's always in it, but then I noticed that if we lose a game, right, I think they're gonna FSU us.
No.
Listen, like you said, if everything works out as planned, and Georgia Tech, it's Miami, Georgia Tech in AC championship, Miami, Virginia, and we lose. You think they're going to take us over a 2-loss SEC team?
So you're saying we're undefeated with 1 loss, or one loss in the ACC?
No, we have the 1 loss is in the ACC championship game.
So we're undefeated. We go to the ACC championship and lose that game.
Yeah.
You're saying they won't make the playoffs because of that. Yeah, no,
I'm asking you.
They will make the playoffs. If they lose a regular season game and lose the ACC championship, I still think to make the playoffs, that makes you feel better.
Then it's more.
So you think they'll keep 2 ACC teams in the playoffs?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Oh,
maybe even 3, depending what shakes out in the SEC.
I can't see 3.
Okay.
I can't see 3. If Clemson and maybe Florida State would have taken care of business.
There's 5 SEC teams in the top 10 right now. They're all going to beat each other up.
They're going to be everyone's kissing Alabama's butt right now. They lost to Florida State. Okay, they can't possibly be as good as people think they are, and they could get beat again for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting them to, but I'm seeing a lot of SEC bias. So that's the only reason why I'm saying it. I'm not saying it just based off of the product that's on the field. I'm hearing a lot of SEC bias out there.
Yeah, they're going to lobby for 5 spots. They'll lobby for
it. Can a 3-loss SEC team get in ahead of a 2-loss ACC team? Yes. But again, Miami has beaten Notre Dame. Miami's beaten Florida. Miami will have beaten, they have a decent resume. It's not like, last year Miami lost to 2 really bad teams and they didn't have a schedule where they beat anybody, right? So so that's sort of why, to me, it was justified by a lot of people why Alabama should have been ahead of Miami. And of course, they both wound up not making it anyway. But I get that. But this year, Miami had a much tougher schedule. There's no justification to me to do that this year.
I do think Miami will win out, though. But, I was just throwing it out there. I know earlier we were talking about Fletcher. I think if Fletcher wants to explore the NFL, we have to let him go. There's no point in bringing him back. None at all.
Well, what do you mean explore? What is that? What do you mean by that?
No, I mean, let's just say if he wants to dabble and see where he could go in the NFL, and he kind of says, "Hey, I want to give it a shot." I think the coaches should just let him just go.
Oh, instead of trying to talk him out of it.
Instead of trying to talk him out of it.
Mark Fletcher was smart enough, and I know his mom is smart enough, and he will get good enough advice that he's not just going to go make a stupid decision. He's going to know. He's going to know what his status is. And he's going to be able to make a sensible decision. And I personally think that could end up being come back to Miami next year because, look at what Blue's pointing out. Damian Martinez made that mistake. He's not even on a roster. I mean, he could be getting paid by Miami now instead of being unemployed. And then Nick Stokey says Martinez is much better than Marty Brown. And I think that's true.
Martinez is better than Fletcher.
Might be.
Here's what Gary, you're not understanding the question. He's saying Mark Fletcher weighs all the information. He's not just blindly deciding to leave. Weighs all the information from all the sources that he's going to get, including Alonzo Highsmith, and he says, I'm going pro to the coaches. The question is, at that point, the coaches try to talk him out of it, give him more money to make him stay. And I agree with him. I don't think you should. If he's decided that based on the information, let him go because at that point, he's already made his decision based on the information he has, and you just wish him well.
And we have too much talent in the running back room. We can't afford to lose anyone just to have Mark Fletcher back for 1 year.
Gary, you just fell for the joke. His name's the Joker, and he put an LOL afterwards. He's kidding. He doesn't agree with you ever. He did agree with you, I think, because that was when you were talking about Fletcher getting money from Miami. And I don't disagree with that.
Ghostface agrees with me too. He likes that $1 million number I threw out for Fletcher.
I don't like the $1 million number for Fletcher. I don't think regardless of what it is, I don't think we'll need him next year. We'll have Shamar Brown. We got to give Jordan Lyle his shot. Yeah, then we get Pringle's waiting in the background. This Javion kid that we got coming in.
Yeah, Gary's throwing $1 million to a backup running back. That's what Gary's doing.
We can't afford to keep Fletcher and lose one of these good young backs. We can't.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I think
Jordan Lyle started game 1 this year over Fletcher.
Yes.
Jordan Lyle's playing no matter what.
Correct. Jordan Lyle's going to be the starter. So why would you throw $1 million for a backup running back when you got plenty of depth? You have Marty Brown coming back, Gerard Pringle. You got two signees probably coming in. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to the $1 million can be used so much better at other positions, Gary. I think it's crazy. If it's $1 million, I don't think it is. But if it's $1 million, which you keep saying,
I think Mark Fletcher, the human being and football player, has massive value to the Miami Hurricanes.
Take me on the team for $1 million. I'm a good human being. I'll behave.
You have zero value.
Zero. I won't be negative at all, Mario, for $1 million.
But we can't keep him. We can't keep him. And Jordan Lyle decides to say, "Well, they're going to give me $1 million, and I'm the starter." You know, Fletcher's not coming back to sit on the bench.
He's not sitting on the bench this year.
I'm saying next year.
Start this year. There's plenty of carries to go around for those two guys.
Gary, how do you know that Shannon Dawson's back next year? It might be a one back. It might be a team, a coordinator that likes to use one back 80% of the time, like a lot of these teams do. You know, it's unusual to have a 3-back platoon system. Very unusual in college football or NFL football, because usually one of them is the guy that you like the most, that you think is the best, so you play him the most. That's what most coordinators do.
They like to give multiple backs 12 to 15
they
carries
don't.
a game.
Shannon Dawson does.
Yeah. I think if Fletcher wants to go, we gotta let him go. We gotta let him go.
Well,
he's not explosive. We gotta let him go.
I don't agree with you guys at all. I think that kid has massive value here. We'll see.
I mean, massive value as a player, as a he's a captain. I can see it.
A guy in the community. I mean,
But his running style does not impress me one bit. He's a good kid, but I've seen Jordan Lyle break the ball for 90 yards. You're not getting that out of Fletcher.
Yeah, they got to
outrunning guys every step of the way.
Fletcher is going to average 4.5 yards a carry. He'll score 10 touchdowns. You know, he's a good goal line guy, third down and one guy. You need that, but Marty Brown's very similar also, and Marty Brown is coming back. So, I don't know. I don't think you need Brown and Fletcher behind Lyle next year for $1 million. For $500,000, I'll take him. But for $1 million, I think it's a waste.
No, $1 million, you got to let him go.
Now that's doing the budget for the collective. Okay.
Yeah, I'm negotiating right now.
All right, guys. Last question. This isn't a JoJo Trader question, but
here we go.
No, past JoJo Trader. I thought during the
question.
No, I thought during the spring. I don't remember what the other wide receiver's name is. You guys were saying that these two guys were clearly the best wide receivers on the team.
Josh Moore,
and what's the other kid?
It was Tony. Malachi Tony.
It was Tony? Okay.
Yeah.
What happened with Josh Moore? He just disappeared after that big 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, they haven't been using him. It's bizarre.
It's the weirdest thing to me. He just disappeared after the 2-touchdown game. They were saying he was the best. Well, a lot of people were saying he was the better looking wide receiver on the team in the spring.
He is amazing. He is unbelievably talented. But with these coaches, my guess, and I'm, this is a guess, and only because I know what the coaches do, not because I'm privy to something about Josh Moore, but they like to play the guys who are leading and practicing the hardest and have earned the reps, right? And that's the problem right now JoJo Trader's having. And I think Josh Moore has to prove it and earn it, because if he had done that, he'd be starting, right? But
who was the third wide receiver this whole time when JoJo Trader wasn't performing?
Keelan Marion. He's just been invisible for the most part. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, this is crazy.
They've just been rotating. Hey, by the way, Mark Fletcher's averaging 5.5 yards a carry this year, and he's got 5 touchdowns. Okay, Marty Brown, as good as he's been, is averaging 3.9, has 4 touchdowns, but is averaging a yard and a half less per carry than Fletcher. And I would argue that Jordan Lyle, when he gets healthy, will certainly have numbers at least at the Fletcher level, if not higher. So, I'm telling you, Mark Fletcher and Jordan Lyle as a tandem in 2026, to me, has massive value for the Miami Hurricanes.
Not at the risk of losing Pringle or
Pringle's got to wait his turn or be the
Samora Brown. Nobody's waiting nowadays. Gary, they're not waiting for too long. They're not going to wait for too long.
Hey, Chris Johnson bailed out. He's playing a little bit at SMU. What are his stats? I'm going to go look up his stats.
And Gary, remember
he had a big run the other day.
He had a good return, yeah.
He had a big run the other day. I don't know what's going on with him, but I just stopped following all our guys that go to SMU.
Yeah. Also, remember, Gary, Fletcher played more in the early part of the season than Marty did, which sort of helped him against those terrible teams in terms of yards per carry, right? Because against some of these bad defenses, Bethune USF's not a good defense. Like you can get a lot of yards per carry when you're playing a lot of reps on those against those teams.
And Marty Brown is a good pass catcher out of the backfield, so he's much better than Fletcher at pass catching out of the backfield.
Chris Johnson didn't want to wait around here, which is.
By the way, you know what's crazy? Marty Brown, when we watched him in practice this fall, he would drop every pass. We were like, this guy can't catch. He's awful in the pass. Like, I'm not even kidding. Gary and I would say to each other, like, this is crazy. The guy can't catch a pass. Remember, Gary? And now he's like the greatest receiver.
No, that's an exaggeration. It wasn't that bad.
Okay. I remember talking about it with you.
He dropped some balls, no argument. But he hadn't dropped them in the regular season. By the way, Chris Johnson, who didn't want to wait around, understandably, he waited a couple years. He has 28 carries in 5 games at SMU as a backup running back. He's getting like 5-6 carries a game, but he's averaging 8.1 yards a carry thanks to an 87-yard touchdown run that he had. So, I mean, is he playing more at SMU than he would have played at Miami? Yeah, probably. I mean, and who knows what's going to happen with Pringle? I would say they're very similar type players. How about Chris Wheatley-Humphrey? Also that type of player.
Well, and Gary, by the way, you're talking about Fletcher yards per carry, right? He had 11 carries for 86 yards against Bethune, and Marty Brown only had 7 carries in that game for 35 yards. So, I mean, that's the game that really separates them in terms of yards per carry, right? 8 yards a carry versus 5 yards a carry. You take that game out, it's not that dissimilar, and Bethune-Cookman isn't even a real game. So, so it's a little.
But Marty Brown becomes the 3rd-team running back now with Jordan Lyle coming back.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt. Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's not like you were making a big deal out of the yard difference or yard and a half difference between the two of them. It's not, honestly, if you take the Bethune game out, it's not that big a difference. It's probably more like a 0.4, 0.3 yard per carry. I'd have to do the math. But.
Let's see what Ghostface is working the chat tonight. He's Team Fletcher. I'm Team Fletcher too. I mean,
I like him. But not at the risk of losing good young running backs.
Here's the thing: Mark Fletcher's a great human being. He's been through a lot. The team rallied around him last year, when his father passed, and he's a great human being. So of course you want him on the team. But then it becomes, this is a business, right? It's not college football anymore. It's a business. And you have to make a business decision that's best for your team. And you got to figure out, do you need him to get that money at running back, or do you want that money to go somewhere else? And depending how much money is in the coffers, that's the math that Marcus has to figure out. It's not a cut and dry decision. Like Gary says, just give him $1 million. We need him. He's so important. Like, it's not.
They will have enough money for Mark Fletcher. There is no doubt in my mind.
At the expense of what position?
Whatever the budget is, it will
have enough. Yeah. Of course they'll have enough. At the expense of what, though? Because you can spend $1 million somewhere else. Am I wrong? I mean, they have a set budget. You and I both know they have a set budget that Mario does for each position. And, he'll go over to certain positions of need, and maybe that money's better spent somewhere else.
They would deviate from Mark Fletcher, but Lorenzo Brunton takes the opposite point of view. He's not going to get any better than what he is. I would agree with that. He's only going to get wear and tear, okay. But if you're going to get wear and tear to be on a practice squad somewhere, does it really matter?
Right.
You make, like I said, you make $200,000 a year on a practice squad, and that lasts for a year or two, and then you're unemployed. you can make more than a couple years on the practice squad for sure by coming back to Miami next year. He's going to have a very tough decision. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for me.
Yep.
All right.
All right, thanks a lot.
Catch you later.
All right, PK. Thanks for being part of the show. All right, let's see where we're at
Chris
here.
Chris Brown, by the way, makes a good point. He doesn't like to talk about Fletcher. I mean, we don't set out to talk negatively or positively about anybody. We just share our honest opinions. And is Fletcher a speed power combo back that's like a top NFL talent? He's not. Like, that's just the truth. It's okay to say it. Is he a great player at Miami in the system they have with his offensive line? Yes, there's no doubt. And he's doing a great job this year. And he did a great job last year and the year before. He's a great running back at the University of Miami. And what Gary and I are talking about isn't if he's great at Miami or not. What we're talking about is he worth $1 million to be a backup running back next year? Because, yes, Jordan Lyle, coaches privately will tell you, is an insanely talented back. Like not a one in a lifetime, but one of the special ones, right? Because he does it all. He's got that speed, the power, the pass catching, everything, right? And Mark is not a fast running back. Like, that's just, it is what it is. If Mark was fast, if he was a 4.4 guy, then he'd be an elite college and NFL running back. But right now he's not. He's just not that speed right now. That's all.
All right, Lorenzo wants to know what the weather's going to be Friday. Right now, I don't know where you're getting 73% rain. I'm seeing 21% rain for Friday. Look a pretty good looking day. So
Miami, Ohio has 73% rain. He's correct. He's not wrong.
And Ghostface is telling us that there's orange jerseys coming on Friday night with white with white pants. So if he's right, wear your orange to the game on Friday. All right, let's go Sebastian. Sebastian, welcome back to CaneSport Live. How you doing this evening?
Pretty good, man. I think we got a real big game coming up on Friday. But Matt says, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
it. Louisville's offensive line is terrible, and I think that's probably where they're going to get exploited. My concern for the game is I don't think Miami's played from behind at all this year, and I think Louisville is a team that can kind of put points on the board. And what happens if you go back 2 years ago? I think Louisville. Did we jump on Louisville or Louisville jumped on us? And it was like 14. I think it was. I think we scored the first touchdown, and then Louisville scored like 3. And they went into the half, and then we were in a dogfight, and we just didn't hold up because we didn't have the depth on the team. So, but Matt, you're saying don't worry about it. You've been right all year long, and I'm concerned about this Louisville team. So ease my mind.
I have not been right all year long. I think I was wrong once. No, I don't know. I don't keep track. It's not like it's not like College Game Day where I'm keeping track of my record each week. But yeah, preseason I was definitely wrong, right? Because I said I had to pick 2 losses. I was picking Florida and Louisville. I mean, I'm not wrong about Louisville yet, but I've changed my mind on both Florida. I changed that after game 2. After week 2, I changed that.
Monday morning quarterback, Sebastian.
Correct. Because I actually make predictions, Gary, unlike you, who refuses to say who they might lose to. So God forbid. But yeah, I posted on the board last week that, I researched all the opponents Miami has the rest of the year. None of them are even close to Miami's talent level on either side of the ball. And ESPN had that analytic that Miami has the highest % chance of going undefeated in the regular season, higher than Ohio State. But it's only 29% because each game has its own % chance they could lose, obviously, right? You got to add up all 7 games. But, do I think they'll still lose a game somewhere? I think that's a 50-50 chance it'll happen, in the regular season for sure, because, it's a grind. It's just a grind. But I don't think Louisville's it because when you look at this Louisville team, their quarterback play has been so inconsistent. And the matchup of that offensive line having a lot of problems, I think they gave up a handful of sacks to Virginia against Miami's defensive line, which is way better than Virginia's. Like, that's a massive problem. Like, I don't care what Jeff Brom tries to do. Like, if your offensive line isn't blocking anybody and you have to do max protect and send out 2 guys on routes every time, you're going to lose the game. Like, you don't have a chance because Miami can score points. So I just, this is one of the few games where I'm honestly not that worried against the team that actually is decent. just because I don't think the matchups favor
Yeah,
Louisville
the matchups
anywhere.
don't favor Louisville
Anywhere.
at all here. Yeah, I agree.
I don't think I'm not so much concerned about the matchups as so much as I'm intimidated by Jeff Brown, the coach.
Well, look, Louisville
Because he seems to always be able to do more with less.
He does,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He just, when we lost that game 2 years ago at Hard Rock, I mean, what did he take, like 40 transfers that year? I mean, he just put pieces together. And that was a game where I just definitely saw that we didn't have the personnel, because I think that tight end had like a record-breaking day. I think he had like 9 catches, over 100 yards. He's just the kind of coach to me that I'm just always skittish, because he always seems to like scheme up a game plan that really just kind of exploits us. And it's Friday night, it's at home. I don't know what the crowd is going to look like. I hope they come out with a lot of energy. They're coming off of a bye. And
It'll
I
be
think
good.
Mario has gotten better with the teams performing well off of a bye. Remember how we just sucked every time we came off of a bye? But just ease my mind, man. I'm just telling you, this is 2 weeks in a row. I'm telling you, I'm worried about Louisville.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Louisville. The team that can beat Miami has to have, in my opinion, a great pass-catching tight end and a great pass-catching running back and a decent quarterback and a decent running game. You have to have all 4 of those things, because the Miami's linebackers and safeties have not shown they're very good in coverage so far, okay? They just haven't. Like, they've been beaten in coverage. As a matter of fact, the most targeted groups, targeted more than the cornerbacks.
Pittsburgh could be dangerous.
Correct. So that's what I was getting to. So a team like Pittsburgh could be an issue, okay? But when Jaleel Skinner is your main tight end threat at Louisville, like, I'm not going to say that's a matchup I'm worried about. Like, that's their tight end. Their running game has been.
I wish he would have
average.
stayed, but he had to leave. He needed to gain some weight. I wish he would have
I know.
stayed.
And yeah, he's got 200-something yards. But that's my point, right? They don't have the pieces that I'm worried about that another team needs to have to exploit Corey Heatherman's defense. You got to have a pass-catching tight end. You just have to, based on what I've seen from Miami's defense. Because, yeah, they have 2 great perimeter receivers, right? Lacey and I think Bell.
Lacey and Bell.
Right. 2 great perimeter receivers. But the problem with these teams that have these great perimeter receivers, and Deuce had a decent game against Miami, right? Decent, not great, is that Miami has much better cornerbacks now, man-to-man cornerbacks.
Yeah.
And the pass rush gets there so damn fast. That's why you got to have the tight ends and running backs that can beat you one-on-one. If a linebacker's on a running back, he can catch the ball and make a move, and he's gone to the second level. Tight end beats the linebacker or safety, 15-yard gain on a quick hitter. Those are the guys I'm worried about, because Miami's pass rush is so damn good. And if you don't have that on your team, I think you got no chance to score a lot of points and be consistent on offense. And I don't think Louisville has anything except for 2 perimeter receivers that I'm worried about.
Hey, I want to switch up gears, because I have 2 other questions, but I think this other one is going to be a pretty big one. How fast has the college football world kind of changed in the span of 4 weeks? We had Penn State was ranked the number 2 team in the nation, and Penn State right now is without a coach. And so when you take a look at Penn State, who was in the college football playoffs last year and was probably a play away from going to the national championship game, you look at that program and you look at the program where the University of Miami is at, who's in better shape? And I wanted to hear both of you guys' analysis on
Miami obviously is right now. If things continue the way they're looking, don't leave out Notre Dame either. I mean, Notre Dame, was in the championship game last year. They've got 2 losses now, and then Oregon losing at home to Indiana. So now everyone's pumping up Indiana. I mean, they're saying Fernando Mendoza is going to be a top quarterback in the draft, and people are very reactionary, Sebastian. We'll have to see how this thing plays out.
Well, I'll just add to that. My opinion of it is college football is not run by the school president anymore. It's not run by the board anymore. It's run by the big donors. And if those big donors are all buddies up in Happy Valley, they all get together and they call the school, whoever the power that be is, and says, we're withdrawing our donations. We're not donating anymore to the NIL unless you get rid of this MFer that we think is screwing up the whole program. James Franklin, they're going to do it. They don't have a choice.
$45 million. Unbelievable.
Correct. And you think that Penn State wanted to do this? They did not want to do this. They were forced to do this by outside forces. This is the NIL era. This is the era of boosters controlling the programs. And, could it happen at Miami someday? Yeah. The good news is Mario's best friends with all the big boosters.
Right.
So it's not like it's a business decision.
And he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He really is.
He doesn't need the sweethart relationships.
They're all from Columbus. They've known each other since they were 4 years old. I mean, there's no way it'll happen with Mario at Miami. So that gives Miami that sort of built-in advantage to, even with recruiting, like this coach isn't going anywhere. Anywhere else, a coach could be gone with an 0-4 start. Anywhere else in the country. And as a matter of fact, they probably will be gone with an 0-4 start for any preseason top 20 team in this day and age that we live in, which is crazy.
I just wonder at what point the athletic directors say enough is enough and they stop putting those big buyouts in the contracts. I mean, it might keep you from getting a coach who's got the leverage to demand it, but like these schools are spending a fortune.
That's a lot of money to tell somebody to stay home. That's all I'm saying. And I'm just looking at they're a play away from going to the. I mean, he's in the college football playoffs. They're a play away from going to the championship game, and there's no grace for a season that seems to kind of go south. I mean, he's been there for 12 years. This is the height.
And you're only halfway through the season.
You're only halfway through the season. This is the most success Penn State has ever had. They haven't reached this level of the promised land or this close to it. And in that same season, that seems to take a turn. One season, you just kind of act. I mean, I don't want to belittle the point. I'm just saying that, who's in a better shape right now? Miami right now, because I mean, we hope to run the table. We hope not to get a loss or two, but still, I still think our program's in pretty good shape because of the way Mario is building the program. Like, I'm seeing young players that are developing, that are playing. You're going to have 2 top 15 draft picks that were recruited by Mario that he promised, if you come to this school, I'll get you where you need to be. You could kind of turn the program around. So that leads to my final question is this. How strong will our recruiting class be and our attractiveness in the transfer portal if we're able to keep both our coordinators? Because I'm concerned about that. I'm really concerned about Shannon Dawson. I think he's really going to be a hot commodity, at least to get some looks. I know he has a desire to be a head football coach. And it may be even one of these lower tier programs that may be looking to him. So where are you guys at on that?
You say he's looking to be a head coach. How do you know this?
Well, Shannon Dawson is looking to be a head coach. There's no doubt about it.
He might be, but we don't know that.
I wouldn't say I know that, but he comes off as head coaching material. I said when Manny Diaz was here and the previous coach was here, I know Miami was going to get to a level where they were going to be very, very competitive, when their assistant coaches has the current credentials to go on to be head coaches. If you look at all of our previous assistants, you haven't seen that. You look at Jimmy Johnson. How many of Jimmy Johnson's assistants went on to be head coaches?
Oh yeah.
You look at all the other coaches we've had. I don't even know. D'Onofrio is not a head coach. You don't see any of those assistants that went on to be head coaches. And so my point is, how attractive will we be recruiting wise in the portal if we're able to keep our coordinators?
The portal maybe, but remember, signing day is December 3rd. The ACC championship game is December 6th. Most teams' seasons will wrap up a little before December 3rd, the weekend before. But are they going to be firing their coordinators in mass in a week period? Probably not. So I think a lot of players are going to be signed already before there might be any movement with coordinators. And the truth is, Mario Cristobal is so involved with every single recruit that it's not they're not being sold by the coordinators necessarily. Like, yes, you have to have a system that fits you, but Mario's going to assure these families that we're not changing our style of offense. We're not going to become, a 3 yards in a cloud of dust offense. Okay, they're going to have a similar type of system, right? It's what Mario wants. It's why he hired that guy, and it's why he hired Corey Heatherman. he's had two similar, believe it or not, Corey Heatherman and Lance Guidry run similar style systems, right? They both run an aggressive 4-2-5 system that tries to confuse opposing offenses. And yeah, Corey Heatherman is simpler, right? He's not constantly lining up, 6-7 guys on the line and then dropping 3 of them at the snap. But at its core, they're very similar in terms of what they're trying to do. One-on-one covers on the outside, get pressure, with your front 4 if possible. If not, you bring in a linebacker or a safety. You're dropping, you're putting a linebacker at the line, dropping them into coverage at times. Safety, same thing. Blitzing corners, blitzing safeties. So that's not going to change, and that's what recruits signed up for. So I'm not concerned at all. Like, might 1 or 2 recruits leave, especially a quarterback maybe who was personally recruited by Shannon Dawson? Yeah, that could happen. Although I don't think Darion's going anywhere. But I don't see an impact at this point with Miami cruising the way it is, with having a coordinator leave, with having anybody leaving. It's not going to be like the Penn State situation or anything crazy like that. No.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. So, final comment is, you ease my mind, Matt. You got to give me a prediction. What's the score?
Oh,
you were spot on last week. You said we would cover.
I was not spot on. I said they'd win. I was spot on. If you take away the turnovers, I was spot on. It probably was about the right score. So again, this is with the caveat that both teams play similarly. In other words, if Miami turns it over 2 times, Louisville turns it over 2 times. If Miami has 80 yards in penalties, Louisville has 80 yards in penalties. I'm not anticipating, 5 fumbles by Louisville, and now Miami wins 42-0. Okay, so my prediction, again, if you take away some of these turnovers and you try to figure out a score afterwards, the score will be 34-17. Boom.
Sounds about right.
Done. Miami wins, by the way. For those of you wondering if I'm predicting Louisville to win, it's Miami winning.
Okay, 34-17. My thing froze. All right, we'll
34-17
see.
Miami.
Yeah, just want to say, man, you guys have been doing great work. I hope you guys took some time off during the bye, because we got 7 full stretch games that's going to be ahead of us. The team I'm worried about in the ACC is 2 teams. That's Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. Georgia Tech, because if we can learn how to handle that motion and all that stuff, where our defensive backs don't get, mixed up, I think we'll be okay. Pittsburgh, just because I don't like when Miami plays in the cold late in the season. I just never do.
Yeah.
So,
all right, Sebastian.
Appreciate it, guys.
Talk to you next week, man.
Those are some good calls today. Other than Greg, they were all really good calls.
Other than Greg, it's been great. Adam says Shannon Dawson to Penn State. Who says no? I say no. Not happening.
Al Golden all day long.
No, they're trying to get Matt Rule from Nebraska. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull that off. They might be able to. All right, Matt, it's time for us to let you go to bed. Any closing thoughts?
I would just say that, fans that are upset about the whole Mark Fletcher thing, again, great person, great college running back. We're talking about NFL prospects for him and NIL money if he's worth $1 million. And it's okay to talk about that. Like, God forbid we talk about any Miami player and say anything except he's the greatest player ever. He's worth $10 million. Pay him whatever it takes. Keep him here. Like, we're not here. Well, I'm not here to be a homer. I can't speak for Gary because, Gary, but like, that's where that's coming from. Okay. We're not trying to be mean to anybody. We're trying to be informative and have a conversation with fans. That's what the show is about. And of course, upset everybody along the way because that's what I do. I can't help it.
Hey, if Derek Cooper's worth $1 million, Mark Fletcher's worth $1 million. All right, Matt.
Okay. See you guys.
See you next week. Yep. All right. Let me just, there was one other comment I saw here. Mario's hit 2 home run quarterbacks in the portal, but would love to see him land one of the top quarterbacks coming out of high school. A stud that we have for 2-3 years starting versus one and done. It's not as easy as you think, man. It's like you got all these high school quarterbacks, and if you're not going to get them cheap, okay? If someone's ranked the top quarterback, whatever, they're not coming cheap. And what would you rather do? Would you rather go to the portal and pay a little bit more and get a guy that's proven, like a Cam Ward or a Carson Beck, or do you want to roll the dice on, Kyle Wright, who's the number 1 quarterback in the country coming out of high school? And, that's just one example, obviously. But they're signing high school quarterbacks who have an equal opportunity to be the guy. And once you sign and you get here, the onus is on the players to get good enough to where they don't have to go to the portal. I mean, if Luke Nickel or Emory Williams is good enough to be the starting quarterback on next year's team at the level of Cam Ward and Carson Beck, they would love to save that money and not go to the portal and be able to use it in other areas. But that may or may not be the case, and time will tell on that. But I don't think it's as easy as people think it is. Oh, geez, we're just going to go out and recruit a top high school quarterback, because you don't really know on a kid coming out of high school. There's a lot of kids coming out of high school that project to be good quarterbacks that don't ever make it. So anyway, we'll see what happens. All right, now we're going to bring in the voice of the fan, Bruce Warner. Bruce, thank you for being patient. Had a lot going on this show tonight.
Like I had a choice,
Oh, no, man, it's been a little crazy here tonight. No argument.
I never get on when Greg is on. He's always on earlier than me. What exactly is going on between?
But you're going to get it. You're going to get everything this week because he's coming on next.
Coming in. Right.
But any opening thoughts from you, Bruce, on coming out of this open week into Louisville?
Well, I think that we're going to see a lot more out of Lyle this week, which we need. I think he needs to get going.
Yep.
And I do think JoJo's going to play.
Yeah.
I don't know how many snaps he's going to get, but I think he's going to help.
It'll probably depend how he does.
And I do believe that Mario was in these guys' ears and up their behinds for the last 2 weeks, because I think you agree with me. He was not happy with the Florida State game at all. He doesn't like what happened in the fourth quarter on both sides of the ball. And I think these kids know it. I think this is going to be the most complete game we play all season. And I think we beat them 37-17. 4 touchdowns, 3 field goals. I don't see Louisville scoring in the 20s. I just think that both sides of the ball are going to be jacked for this game. This is a big game. I don't think he's happy with he's thrilled about the 5 wins, but I don't think he's thrilled about some of these comments that we've heard in the last 12, 13 days, how they play like crap in the fourth quarter. They didn't play well against the Gators for a while. They blew a 14-point lead against Notre Dame. I think he's had enough of that. Don't you agree?
I do agree. I think I'm pretty right there with you on that score prediction too. But listen, we got to have balance on this show. Okay, we can't be homers. Okay, I can wear my glasses all night, but
I'm not a homer. I'm just telling you how I really feel.
We got to have balance, so we might as well bring on everything 305 right now to give us some balance. Everything. Tell us why the Canes are going to lose this week, since you've been picking them to lose every other week.
Gary, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, everything? How are you?
I'm doing a lot better, man.
Hey, Greg came on here tonight with a webcam. Like, isn't it time for you to,
Not today, Gary. I got my new hip yesterday, so I'm getting there.
All right.
I'm feeling a lot better though. So, Gary, hey, Bruce.
What's up, buddy?
I feel pretty good about this game.
Mazel tov.
Talked about matchups, or Matt was talking about matchups, right? And I think he's right. The team that's going to impact us the most is the one that attacks the second level, where we're not good in pass coverage. And
listen, the strength of Jeff Brom is the passing offense, and they're going to have a hard time passing the ball with an offensive line that can't protect.
And Gary, I'll add one other thing. As we talked about 2 weeks ago, Castellano, this kid has no escapability whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
He's a statue back there. He's going to get his ass kicked. That's my opinion. And he may make some plays. He's got a good arm, the kid. But this is
they'll get rid of the ball quick. They'll be getting rid of the ball quick, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slants,
everything will be quick, and they'll get Brown. They'll get that running back from down here and from the South Dade area. They'll get that kid going early. They'll get him the ball. They'll have games for him. They'll do some screens. They'll get him involved. They're going to attack our second level. I mean, that's for sure. Especially when you got to get rid of the ball quick. That's what you got. But overall, I think our matchup is pretty good. My concern is that I think Sebastian or Stanley was talking about the college football landscape and how everything changes. One thing you got to understand, man, recruiting changes daily. But the ebbs and flow of college football are one thing, but it's just the amount of money that's behind everything that's never been to this extent. So everything gets blown out of proportion. You look at Coach Franklin, there'd be 40 schools out there trying to get Coach Franklin. He's one hell of a recruiter. Guy's always done a phenomenal job in developing guys. Can't win big games, get that. I understand that.
That's
But
a big strike
overall,
against him. Can't win big games. That's
well,
a
you know,
problem.
he built he built Vanderbilt many years ago. Didn't get much credit for that until the very end, and gets a good job and just can't make it happen. Sometimes you just can't. You fall short, and that's part of life, gentlemen. That's something we think that that's easy to come by. Look at what he's had to do, and somebody else mentioned, coordinators becoming head coaches. Traditionally, if you're every year, if you're not worried about one of your coordinators leaving, that means you got the wrong guy in that job. You want those hot commodity guys. There's some lifelong guys that just don't ever want to be in that chair, and they end up, basically going ahead and doing that role. But for the most part,
being a head coach in today's football is hard, man.
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You
Look,
can't.
look,
Before
look
you
at
give up,
Florida State, you got Napier in Florida, who still doesn't want to have anybody helping him call the plays, which is absurd. And up in Tallahassee, you got Norvell, and they've spent $200 million for the stadium. They haven't put it into the recruiting. They haven't done any. They do the portal, but you know what their biggest problem is? Mario Cristobal. That's their biggest problem, because their recruiting is for crap, because they're dealing with a guy like that who's getting most of the really good players. So if you're not putting the money into it, you don't have a good coaching staff that can recruit, and you've got Mario in the state, you're behind the eight ball. Both of those teams are in trouble.
And it's funny, but we forget, Bruce, and if you've ever had to pay your bills based on what you're doing with kids, you have a different perspective, I think, altogether. But the way you look at it is what he built at Memphis was beyond remarkable with very limited resources. He did a great job at Memphis building that up. The coach that left earlier, he went to Virginia Tech, and he didn't do too well at Virginia Tech, but he was a big part of that. The guy's been around he's a quality, top-notch coach. He schemes up very well, but things aren't you got to have chemistry and continuity, and the things that you need in place right now aren't there for him. They were early on when you beat Alabama, but that's week one. And unfortunately for us, I don't want to see that guy get fired. I want Florida State to win the rest of their games.
Well, then why don't you fork up the money?
Kind of hard to do on my pension, but we'll give it a shot, Bruce. Maybe you can help me with all that big lawyer money you got.
Not a problem.
But again, it's just
giving it to them.
I hear you. Again, it's just you look at quality guys, and you just know it's part of the business. And today, the way it is today, I don't understand. The Chip Kellys of the world, they're right. They're correct. It's not worth it anymore. But another question I had, and Bruce, you've been around for a long time, not calling you old, but you know this program better than anybody.
Not better than Gary, but I'm there. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm older than both of you, but whatever.
How old are you?
Too old.
How old are you?
Too old. I'm 78.
Oh, you are older than me. Okay.
Yeah. But the one thing I'll say is a guy like Randy Shannon, if Randy would have had all these resources, Bruce, and I really want to hear your perspective on this. Randy would have had all these resources. You think he would have been okay? Think he would have won some big games?
That's kind of tough, because Gary and I know him, and he's a stubborn SOB.
Yeah,
he's very private. I don't know. He did get screwed. He didn't have the budget. I get that. It's hard to predict.
I mean, he got the job. He wanted to hire Dirk Cutter as his offense coordinator, but Dirk Cutter needed to make $1 million, and Randy wasn't even making $1 million. There were no resources in the program whatsoever. He ended up having to make bad coordinator hires from day one, and it was set up to fail. I mean, so could he have made it with the resources of today? Yeah, I mean, he might have, because he would have gotten everybody from South Florida. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater would have come here. Amari Cooper would have come here. And then who knows what that would have led to. I mean, it's hard to predict with certainty, but with the resources to hire the level of coaches that those resources allow you to hire, Randy might have had a shot, because he had the capability to recruit because of his ability to develop relationships in South Florida.
I had a follow-up question to that, but for both of you. So if Golden didn't fire, if he would have fired D'Onofrio,
he might have
a real good defensive coordinator. He still may be here.
Yes, I agree with that.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Bruce.
Yeah, Al Golden was a
There's
heck
some
of a coach.
stubbornness again.
He was a very good coach, Al Golden.
I'll make another prediction. Had Butch gotten the money he wanted, he wouldn't have gone to the NFL. He might still be here too.
He'll be here now.
With
Yeah,
5 or 6 national titles under his belt because
Yeah.
Butch. That was horrible that he left.
horrible. And that's why when you're talking about these coordinators, I mean, when I look at Shannon Dawson, man, I see a guy that's like just coming into his wheelhouse as an OC. I mean, he has evolved here at Miami and become more of a complete offensive coordinator because he's embraced the running game and has learned to incorporate the running game into his passing concepts, and they're really operating at a very high level on offense now here at Miami. But that's with the capability to get the level of players that they're getting. Is he operating at this level if he's the head coach at Rice and he can't go get Cam Ward, he can't go get Carson Beck?
Has he been a head coach, Gary? No, right?
No.
No.
So my point is, like, he's not getting the Penn State job, okay? With all respects to Adam. I mean, that's not happening. Right. So he's not getting the Florida job either. He's not getting the Florida State job. So if he goes to be a head coach and money, if money alone is the agenda, you got to take the head coaching job because you can go be the head coach at Rice and make more money than you're going to make as the coordinator at Miami. But you could be at the coordinator at Miami making a couple $1 million a year into infinity. I mean, at the level that you're coaching at and the quality of players that they're proving that they can get. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you better have a burning desire to have to deal with all the crap that these head coaches have to deal with.
Gary, he would have to get himself one hell of a staff. If he gets a good staff, he could be like a Toledo or something like that, and become and then it's stepping stones. You just don't go from here to the NFL.
No,
I don't know what he wants to do. You got to ask him.
I don't either. I haven't had that conversation with him.
He's the guy that could get. I'll give an example. He's the guy that would be in the running for the Duke job if it opened up tomorrow. He would be just on what he's done on offense alone the last couple of years. Manny, let's say Manny gets the job someplace else or moves on, whatever. Let's say the world's aligned and he gets the Penn State job because Matt won't leave Nebraska, and they go with Manny. And that Duke job opens up. He's got a chance. He definitely has a chance. Dawson has a great chance to get that job. He does.
I mean, if Brett Lashley is FMU, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
What about Va Tech? Isn't that job open?
Yeah,
it will be. It will be. Yeah. I mean, we got an interim in there now. Is trying to,
But man, I'm just telling you, man. If you're a head coach today, you got so much that you got to deal with, and man, if it's appealing to you to just be able to be a play caller with all the weapons that you're able to recruit at Miami, and that extra $1 million a year, is it really that important? Like, you're working all the time anyway. I mean, how are you spending it? Like, you have a little bigger house, maybe. I mean, man, I don't know. Me personally, I would think long and hard about it.
Yeah, I agree.
And but a lot of people, they want the money, and you're seeing how these coaches that become head coaches get paid. I mean, Ed Orgeron's talking about coming back, after 4 or 5 years out.
I mean, I think maybe Heatherman could command a higher salary because what he's done is just mind-boggling after last year's defense.
Yeah,
this guy could coach.
No, they're going to pay their coordinators here. There's no doubt in my mind. They're not. Yeah, they're going to value them and they're going to pay them.
Gary, it sounds like Coach O's running out of money.
I had no chance. He got $17 million to leave. Like, he's not running out of money.
Though. He parties hard.
What he is, he's bored. He's getting bored. He's getting bored. Like, what? These guys, all they know is ball. They work every day of their lives at ball, and then they have nothing to do every day when they wake up except. I mean, you get tired of that after a while.
I don't see Ed O in a 9-to-5 job. You? No way.
Unless he owns the bar he's working at. That's about it. Last thing, I heard this last week, and I was like, there's no way it's going to happen. But after the comment I heard post-game in Oxford, Lane wasn't very happy with the crowd, with the attendance. And I was told he's pretty much been offered the Florida job.
Oh, he absolutely. Blank check. Wow. They will give him a blank check.
Wow, Gary. Wow. That's going to impact the landscape down here for sure.
No argument. No argument at all. Yeah. But with the portal now, everything like you can go get players.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
And my final score for Saturday, I got us winning 28-17, boys. I'll
All
call
right.
it that.
Good for you. You've come over to the right side.
Hey, just
Again,
looking
no
at the
field
matchups,
goals.
Gary. Looking at the matchups. That's all.
All right, everything. Well, we'll talk to you next week. We'll see how it shakes out.
Take care.
Gentlemen,
Feel
have a
better,
great
buddy.
night. Go Canes.
All right, man.
Wasn't
All
that bad today?
Huh?
It wasn't that bad today.
No, not at all. No, he's been reformed. All right, Jake should be he should be drunk enough for us to bring him on the show. So let's go. What's up, Jake? How you doing this week?
How's it going then? Doing great.
You're doing good. Good.
The oh my God, everything finally picking the Hurricanes to win. What a
How about that?
Yeah,
huh?
now I'm nervous. I wasn't.
Yeah,
nervous.
right. Yeah. No, go figure. Yeah, we probably get the shit.
I won't be
kicked
able to
out
sleep
of us
tonight,
on
tomorrow, and
Friday.
Thursday night.
Yeah, Eddie Mush over there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Gary, on a side
I'll
note,
get this ready to go.
Your hanger steak recommendation earlier today. It's the best cut of meat that nobody appreciates. It is
That
pound
hanger
for pound.
steak is really good over there.
If you cook that right, it is the best cut of steak. There is so much flavor in that. It's the best. But one of these days, I need to get on with Matt and talk restaurants. I'm a fellow fine dining advocate.
You're a foodie, huh?
Yeah, I am. Oh, and by the way, agnolotti, if you order it at the restaurant, they'll look at you
That's how you.
sideways.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it. That's how you pronounce
That's how
it.
you pronounce it. Yep.
I just say agnolotti. No wonder they look at me so funny.
That's it right there. Just a little tip for you. But
All right.
What's up?
that's
Are you worried about Friday night or not?
no. The standard now is 12-0. It has to be. The knock against
Mario is 6-0, not 12-0.
What's that?
Yeah. Don't try to talk him out of that. He won't.
Got to reel off 7 in a row, but there's no reason not to go 12-0, and it's time. Take it over. Like just own it. There is no reason to lose to any of these teams. That's what we brought him here to do. That's his job. We are superior to every team we will play from here on out, and it's not even close. I think Sebastian or maybe it was TK said the only team that can beat Miami is Miami. And so
everybody's assuming that the way we played against Florida State for 3 quarters, and Notre Dame at the beginning and at the end, and Florida at the beginning and then at the end, that's the way we're gonna. If we play like that every week, nobody's gonna beat us. But if we have lapses and lulls and mistakes and all those penalties and stuff, false starts, anything can happen. Although I don't think we're going to lose. I agree.
I call it the 20-minute gap. It seems that it's. I mean,
why is that? Because you're drunk for 20 minutes and you missed that part of the game?
Right. Yeah. Just a little blackout during the game, but no. I mean, our team seems to black out for like 20 minutes, and then it's like, oh shit, we got to play ball again, and then
it was really weird, man. What happened in Tallahassee was really weird.
Really weird. I've never seen anything.
They happened in Florida and Notre Dame too.
Right, those 2 games though, they clearly like dialed it back and we're trying to sit on the lead and got caught. Like, I didn't feel that that's what happened at Florida State. I think I don't know what happened, but something weird happened because I don't think it was because they went conservative. I think they were getting to third down situations and they weren't converting them, and Florida State kept getting the ball back.
But also Heatherman said and Mario said that they were not. The gap integrity was horrible.
They got tired.
Safeties were constantly looking where Castellanos was, and the corners too, because it's hard to.
There was over pursuit. Yeah.
They missed a million tackles with that.
I watched that, I think, 4 times, and there was definitely some over pursuit. Even Bain, he was a maniac.
Bain was
like
flat tired. Like
Yeah.
he went
was
77
tired,
reps.
and I think he was pissed that he didn't get any sacks in that game because he was terrorizing that backfield.
He was in the backfield the
And
whole night.
In the backfield, and then Castellanos went meep, meep, and then he took off just like the road.
Yeah, like just missed him by literally like you said, the road runner. Just missed
He was
him
in the
by
backfield
a
every
hair.
play. And I'm telling you, I still think Reuben Bain as a defensive tackle would be Warren Sapp Part 2. I really do.
In the NFL, I think
Aaron Donald Part 2.
Yeah,
I think he's a
same idea.
3-4 defensive end. Like when he gets to the NFL, I think a team that runs a 3-4 defense is going to want him as a 3-4 defensive end.
Reuben Bain, as good as he is, and people are talking about him as a Heisman candidate, he has 2 sacks through 5 games. I mean,
but he's got like what 50 some pressures.
A lot of pressures, but he's got 2 sacks, and my point is that like I still say that, and I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up being.
But here's the thing:
in the NFL
is that he is disrupting offenses at a level
because he's so much better than everybody.
But they're having like the quarterback, like Lagway wasn't holding the ball for 2 seconds. Lagway got the stamp and he wanted it gone because he didn't want to get picked and he didn't want to get smashed in the face by Bain.
Listen, he could play linebacker in college and be great. Like he's so much better than everybody else. I mean, there's a reason he's got a high first-round draft pick. There's a reason they're talking about him as a Heisman Trophy candidate as a defensive player. He's phenomenal. He's great.
His motor is crazy.
And
even
he's going to be rewarded this week, Aaron, like I said before, because this kid can't run.
No,
he's gonna
run.
Maybe he'll get 3 sacks.
There's a couple of games coming up where Bain should tee off.
The SMU quarterback could run. He's not bad.
Did you see him at the? I rewatched the end of that game several times. Oh my God! At the end of that game, he was pissed. Like Bain was. Oh my God! The look on his face. He was furious. And but that's the difference this year. That is why this team has national aspirations, is because like we kicked the shit out of them for 45 good minutes and still won well, and yet there were guys who were like pissed at the end of that game. Now,
one phrase we have not heard since he's been here: country club. Country club. We haven't heard that at all. And these kids have bought into this, and they know that the coaches were mad about what happened. They should have annihilated Florida State, put them out of their misery. And I said before when I first got on, I think this is going to be Miami's first complete game of the season come Friday night.
Yeah, hopefully. What's the weather looking like?
We just had somebody say it was going to rain. But
I don't know why. There's no rain in the forecast.
There's no rain.
Good. Yeah, no, get a dry game and just let them tee off. So you guys were talking earlier, Mel Kiper. That guy's he's irrelevant.
He's a really good friend of mine. In fact, I go so far back with him. When he was dating his wife, I was giving him dating advice. That's how far back I go with Kiper.
Hey, you know what? The guy had a nice 40-year run, but
look at him, man. He's making money and he loves what he does. He doesn't give a damn about
hey, look.
He's
keep
still
racking up those dollars.
He's still as plugged in or more plugged in than anybody.
But I'll tell you this, Gary. When I was close to him in the 80s, early 90s, when our guys were really good, and you knew all the players I know, he would call me and ask me, "What's your opinion of this guy? What's your opinion?" And he would put it in a book. I let out a little secret there, but he uses a lot of people.
Well, those guys, of course, that they got to have a lot of people. I mean, a good scout, a good personnel person has plenty of people at every school. Like I saw a scout, I'm not gonna say who he was or what team he was from or whatever, but I saw a scout at Miami, I guess it was yesterday, who was out in the parking lot talking to one of the staffers from within the program that works with the kids off the field, and I'm sure he's picking their brain on players. Like, good recruiters talk to janitors in high school. You can't be good at those type of jobs without having a huge network.
Yeah. Oh no! I mean, I don't think he has the juice that he had, but you know what? Hey, still. Anyway, that the Mel Kiper thing wasn't what I think. This team reminds me a lot of the 2023 Michigan Wolverines, where they had one. JJ McCarthy went in the first round. And then they had 2 second rounders. And then the rest was, I think they had like 15 guys drafted that year, rounds 3 through 7. And I think our roster kind of looks like that, where like, yeah, Bain and Maui Goa are pretty much locks for the first round. Beck and maybe Messidor, there may be
I think Messidor's putting money in his pocket this year, because he's riding all the coattails of Bain, and every time they say Bain, they say Messidor.
Yeah, he'll be a second round pick.
Yeah,
this may not be like in Alabama or an old Miami Hurricanes team where you got 6 or 7 first rounders here, but I think you've got 12 to 15 guys on this team that are capable of being drafted. If you just go, the offensive line has 4 alone. Quarterback, CJ Daniels, the defensive line.
Even the freshmen are making names like Malachi.
Well, yeah, like Malachi Tony will get drafted.
And the kid with the three picks, he's really good.
Yeah, Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he's great. Right.
They're
loaded now. They have a lot of talent, and Mario's it's not going to drop off with the way he recruits. They've done what they had to do. They started with the trenches, and they're building out. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I don't see them having much of it. They may lose 2 or 3 games one year, but as long as they have a quarterback that's good, they're going to be fine. We'll always have, the talent
this year
in wide receiver.
This year, I think the landscape of college football. This kind of reminds me of. I think it was the 2007 season where everybody was 11-2. Like, and I think Miami's going 12-0, but like, there's no like team that's just definitively head and shoulders above. And I think if you took the U off the side of the helmet, or if you put us in the SEC, there would be plenty of people out there saying we are the best team in football. Ohio State won it last year, so you give them the benefit of the doubt. But like, there is no team right now that scares me. It's not to say that we couldn't be beaten by another football team out there, but there's no team where like I say, oh my God, if we had to play them, if we got matched up with them in the playoffs, they just run us out of the stadium. I don't see that. So, like, take the past out of the picture. There's no reason not to have that championship expectation on this season.
You're talking about Miami.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's
portal switches everything. You take a Washington State kid, he comes here. Now they have another Washington State kid who goes to Oklahoma, McKeer, and he got hurt. But in 2 seconds, you turned your program around.
He shouldn't have played last week, but that was rough.
Whatever. Yeah. He did.
He did. Yep. He sure did.
That balance. And I don't think Florida State has the foundation. And I mean, is our offensive line and our defensive line, they don't compare. That's the big difference. We're just and I saw that guy. What's his name? One of the bald guy that's on YouTube all the time. What's his name?
Pate.
Yeah, he was out the game, and he said he walked out there, and when both teams came out instantly, he knew, oh my God, Miami's so much bigger than Florida State. Wow, he was blown away by it. We're just much bigger.
So, two things to hit on there. Everyone says like they look like an SEC player. I say, fuck that. You know what? It's over. They look like a Miami lineman.
There you go.
Screw this SEC narrative.
Right.
That's what Mario came here.
That's
to
in
do,
the
is to
past.
build momentum.
Mario's and the young guys coming up look the same. Like you'll see how big these kids
They're
are.
going to be monsters.
Yeah.
So yeah, screw that. Enough promoting the SEC. They look like a Miami lineman. The other thing, and to why I think it's so essential we go 12-0. Bury these Florida programs dead in the ground, 6 feet under, and like rebuild that state of Miami. And to me, to do that, like just take all the wind out of their sails and just do what all the negative recruiting is said cannot be done, and run the table. Nick Saban, when he was at Alabama, after his first year, he was 96-1 against unranked opponents. He won the games he was supposed to. Do that, get to the playoffs, and rebuild that state of Miami and say, look, that's it. We are the standard. Florida State isn't. Florida isn't.
Yeah, but Gary was talking to somebody about Kiffin. If Kiffin goes to Florida, what's your thoughts on that, Gary? They'll be back sooner than Florida State.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know who Florida State is going to end up replacing Norvell with, because I do think they're going to have to move on from Norvell. But I think Lane Kiffin at Florida will carry a lot of credibility, and will build that program back very quickly.
Do either of those programs have the juice to pull that trigger?
I don't think Florida State does.
I think Florida could definitely end up with Lane.
Florida maybe, because I think Napier's like 26 million or so.
Yeah, and I think Florida State would pay whatever they have to pay. So yeah, it would be a bidding war probably to get Lane.
Man, you're talking that's $100 million turnaround. I mean, because you got 50 mil on Norvell, and then you're going to have to pay the guy.
I don't get how these people do it, but I mean,
that's taxpayer money too. I mean, that's crazy.
I know.
I don't know how these schools are getting away with that.
And they just spent $200 million on the stadium renovation too. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Man.
Well, the stadium, at least that's an asset, but
hey, this is an off-the-cuff comment, Gary. Between Florida State and Florida, knowing that it looks like both of these coaches are going to be gone, is there such a person or people at Miami that are already scouting some of those kids that they may want to bring in? Not that you can say it publicly, but
100%. Yeah,
I want those Desir boys back in Miami. I want those Desir brothers. Oh my goodness, we need
like that Vince Robinson. He's pretty good.
Of course, yeah. No, without a doubt, there will be there will be a strong.
Real quick, and then I'll go. How did we miss those Desir brothers? Holy shit, those kids are pretty good.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I don't know. I really don't.
I hope Mario goes and poaches them after. Even better if Norvell stays. Say, hey, look, you want to stick around with this bum and lose?
They could,
5-6
or they could be shooting higher. They could be shooting higher. Jake, defensive tackle is the one spot right now where. You know, they're gonna be shooting much higher than what they have been there, I think.
Right.
So we'll see. All right, Jake.
Hey, it's true freshmen. Those are good kids.
Yeah.
Good talking to you, Gary. Big win.
Yep. See you next week.
I'm sticking with my 3 touchdowns. So
keep drinking, baby. Keep drinking.
All right. All right. More wine, my man. We'll see you next week. All right, let's go to Adam. Adam, welcome to CaneSport Live.
Hey guys, how are you tonight?
What's going on?
Not a whole lot of much. A couple things. One, and I didn't get to ask this question last week. Did Mario say anything about the penalties? Because didn't we have like 14 for something, and then you had the Keelan Marion penalty, which wiped out, a 55-yard touchdown?
Yeah, we didn't talk about it too much. I assure you it has been very strongly addressed on the practice field. Yeah. Like,
he's not going to throw them under the bus, Adam.
Well, I'm not going to say throw individual players, but just talk about the penalties in general, not only the personal fouls, which they got to tighten. But I mean the illegal procedures, the false starts, like the false start on Bell, which luckily didn't hurt us on the Tony 4th down touchdown pass, but could have.
The offensive line has been getting flagged way too much. The Keelan Marion illegal motion was unforgivable. They got to tighten it up. You know, you can't. You're not going to survive. those kind of penalties on a regular basis, and they have addressed that. I guarantee you, often in the last week.
Okay. Also, should I read anything? And obviously, I try to get as much information as I can from both sides, even though I'm a Canes fan. But like, I've heard some of the Louisville podcasts saying, "Oh, how great their defense is this year." Should I read into their defensive rankings, considering they played 3 like Sisters of the Poor?
No, but what happened with Florida State? They did the same thing. They were 500-600 yards. Yeah. They couldn't even move the damn ball against us. Don't worry about it.
I mean, that's what I thought. I do know that
the stats mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the Miller Moss
good. They're good on defense, but you have to really be good everywhere to deal with Miami's offense.
No, that's what I thought. And I look statistically, they're ranked higher than us defensively. Do I think they're as good a defense as us? Hell no. But I'm just saying, like, if you didn't watch the teams play and you just read their stat lines,
we would have the same stats too, Adam, if we played Bethune 3 weeks in a row. But we don't. So those stats mean nothing. It meant nothing against Florida State. They didn't do a thing until the fourth quarter.
That's what I thought.
With all the stats and all the yards, and they're number 1 in the country. Who cares? It means nothing. If you know what you're talking about it and you see the stats and who they did it against, it's meaningless.
No, and I know a couple of things. One, I know Matt did a breakdown of this, but would you liken the Miller Moss experience to what we experienced like 2 and 3 years ago with Tyler Van Dyke? He'll make a good play every now and then, but then for every one good play, he makes 3 plays that are.
That's a good analogy.
Gary was very high on him, and after he had that second half of the season, he was. Yeah, everybody was hard.
Listen, if Rhett Lashley had stayed as offensive coordinator, Tyler Van Dyke would have been fine. When all that changed, when everything changed, it didn't work out well for him.
Especially that first guy that came in. Wow, he didn't know.
Josh Gaddis.
Josh Gaddis was a disaster for Tyler Van Dyke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sucks, man. It's a right place, right time for a lot of guys. I don't know that Tyler Van Dyke was going to be an NFL quarterback regardless, but he would have been a decent college quarterback. Those last 6 games he played as a freshman
he averaged like 300 yards a game, something like that, right?
Yeah, he was great. I mean, he really was. And then Rhett Lashley left, so I don't know.
And then he didn't even have those. He wouldn't have those feet. He was like in the pocket.
Yeah,
it was a mess.
Rhett Lashley knew how to mask Tyler Van Dyke's weaknesses and deficiencies, and get him in the right plays and simplify it for him to where the game wasn't moving too fast, and that's why he had success.
Is this really? And I just noticed this year. We didn't do much under center with Cam Ward last year, did we? Because it seems like this year we're doing more under center with Carson.
It's about the same.
Yeah, because when you're under center like that, you could play action. It's hard to play action from the shotgun. And
that's true. Although we did do some play action last year.
Most quarterbacks who are play actioning out of shotgun are play actioning to air.
well, no, but like technically when or you fake the handoff. That's what I call play action. Like C.J. Daniels he faked the handoff to Brown.
Right.
A couple other things. What do you guys think the biggest key is of the game on Friday night? Like, is it really our front against their?
It's getting after the quarterback. If they don't, I mean, first of all, I'm saying if they don't, I don't see how they don't get after the quarterback. But if they, by some weird chance, didn't get after the quarterback, Jeff Brom is a hell of a play caller, and they would be able to move the football. But if they're getting after the quarterback and he's under duress the whole night, I don't see how he can run their offense.
Right.
Do you see
offensively? I think we need to open it up more. We have 2 more weapons that are going to be there, and we better use it because those guys represent speed. They can take it to the house on anything. A swing pass to Lyle, a bomb down the field to JoJo. They're not on film. Nobody has seen them yet. Lyle a little bit. I think they're going to play a big part in this game.
Yeah, but it'll depend on the defense.
We're close to 40.
Florida State, they loaded up to stop the run, and Shannon Dawson went to the pass.
Yep.
He'll be prepared to do either.
Yeah, and I was told Louisville doesn't like to bring players into the box. According to the Louisville, they like to play them back further.
Yeah, so
and have light boxes.
You will see them pound the rock.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah. If they start doing that, forget it.
Jordan
Yeah.
Lyle, Mark Fletcher, Marty Brown all night. Yeah.
Okay, and last thing, on the recruiting front, do you still see us with like chances? I know, who's this kid out of Ohio who just decommitted from Iowa State? Paris, is that his name?
There's several of them that are decommitting and getting into the picture, Adam. You know,
our quarterback is in there too, I think.
Yeah. No, but do you see, my point is, do you see us, we're going to take like one or two more wide receivers?
I think that
another running back.
I think they are going to go whale hunting in the month of December.
Okay.
I think that they're going to go after big time players, and I think they're waiting because all you're doing right now is setting the market. And you know, I think once December rolls, Miami is going to move with a vengeance, and go
if they're undefeated and they win the ACC title, then they're in great shape. If they keep winning, they're going to be in great shape.
I know, because
we're going to go to Georgia Tech to win a national title. Are you kidding me?
I mean, in this new portal thing, you're not going to have a situation like Penn State had last year with like Bo Prabula, like entering the portal before they actually play a game, right? Like we won't have that.
I think there's only one this year. There's one portal now, right, Gary?
There's one portal window now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we won't even have that issue of players leaving.
Right.
No, it's going to be a whole new world.
All right. Well, thanks for taking my call. Have a great rest of the show.
Okay.
All right, Adam. Thank you, man.
Okay, buddy.
All right, Bruce.
Well, he's looking like Rumpelstiltskin. He's getting the beard, and he looks like he's even more laying in the bed, half asleep.
He's cool. I like Adam.
I like Adam too.
All right, Bruce. Any closing thoughts?
Just win. 1-0 again.
Yeah.
But if my closing thought would be, let's not play like we've been playing. Let's play a complete game, please.
I think they will. I'm expecting.
I agree.
This is going to be, to me, this will be the most complete game of the season. They will come ready to play an entire game. I love the matchups of this game way better than I did before the season when I didn't get into the matchups. And I'm expecting a big, convincing Canes victory on Friday night against Louisville.
All right, and I agree. That's what I said before. I think this is going to be the most complete game we play all year, up until this point.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. If you missed the beginning of the show, you can go back and watch the replay. It'll be available to you immediately at CaneSport.com. I want to thank Matt Shodell for sitting with me the first hour, Bruce for coming in here in hour number 2. Thank everybody that participated over the course of the night. I got to tell you, that first hour, if you missed it, was epic. Okay, it was wild. All right, so if you missed the first hour of the show, go back and watch it. You won't be sorry. Canes at Louisville, 7:00. I'll see, I'm sure, everybody there. And then we'll be back here next Tuesday night for another CaneSport Live. Tomorrow night, 8:00, the Lamar Thomas Show. Hope to see everybody back tomorrow night for that. So thanks for watching again, and see you next time, everybody.